live pre-match press conference between the Gambia and Comoros. Here with us is the head coach, Jonathan McKinstry. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, now we know that Tunisia is through to the AFCON. Second place is between Gambia and Comoros, who face off today. We know that 4 points could be enough, but then today's match is equally very, very important because we know that if we beat Comoros today, then if we finish with them on the same number of points, which would be 9, then that means we would have already knocked them off the head-to-head record, which is going to be the first tiebreaker if the both of us is going to end on 9 points.
Yeah, it's an important game. We sort of always knew that this game in the group probably would be. From the very sort of first match day, the games have been incredibly close. And again, I think you see even from last night's match in the group, another 1-goal differential, a late goal to decide the game. And that's been true of so many games. You know, we've seen single goals, we've seen late goals. It's been an incredibly competitive group. And actually, once the group is all said and done, you know, the difference between the first place team and the fourth place team may well be 8 or 9 points. But actually, that doesn't tell the story of how tight the group has been and how tight each game has been and how competitive it's been. So, you know, for us, we're expecting again tonight a very tough encounter against Comoros. We know that they're doing well in this group. They're doing well in their World Cup group. They're very good at what they do in terms of being very compact, giving away very little space in their own half, but playing on the counter-attack extremely well. They obviously picked up 4 points from Tunisia in match days 3 and 4. And so we know we've got to be at our best. But at the other side of that, we also know on match day 1, we had over 20 shots on goal against Comoros. And had we been more efficient and cleaner in and around the box, we could have taken 3 points in that game. So, but football's not about could have. Football's about making sure the ball crosses the line. And so, yeah, we know today is going to be a tough encounter and we've got to be at our best. But if we are at our best, we know we will have the chances to take the 3 points.
Of course, I'm sure you must have done even a lot of research also. You talked about their playing style and their tactics. How do you think you can use this information that you got from them to your advantage?
Well, look, one of the things we do as a national team, and it's been in the same in all the teams I've worked with, any player that I've worked with, any team that I've worked with would tell you the same, is that we do go into a lot of detail on the opposition, but that's not to mean we're an opposition-focused team. We like our players going out onto the field with all of the tools they need to succeed, and many of those tools are about, okay, what are the team I'm going to play? What are they good at? What are they not so good at? The individuals I'm about to play against, what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? But that doesn't mean simply by knowing a thing is going to bring you success. It's just one of the tools. But we always talk about sort of 70-30, 80-20. And what that means is that 70 or 80% of a winning performance is about us. And the other 20 or 30% is about what we know about the opposition, how we can counter what they're good at. So what we're looking for from tonight's game is that 80% that's about us, make sure we bring our A game. Because if our players, especially our big players, perform to their top level, they can win against any team in the world. Doesn't matter whether it's here for the Gambia or for their club teams, we know we've got quality. So it's about bringing our A game tonight. And if we do that, both offensively and defensively, then I think we're going to cause Comoros a lot of problems.
So are there any specific areas of your team's performance that you've been focusing on in training for these past few days?
Look, it's been such a short camp. Really, you know, we've had 3 training sessions, but as you know, sort of the training session on the day before the game tends to be less because we want the energy levels to be high. So in that sense, you get 2 full training sessions. And so you don't have a lot of time to go over lots of things. You touch on some offensive aspects, you touch on some defensive aspects, but a lot of it's just about getting the coordination correct between the players. Because again, all of our players, they've been away and they've played 4, 5, 6 matches for their club teams. So they're They're used to the runs that their club teammates make. They're used to the passes that their club teammates make. So they now have to get used to each other again. And we've tried to do that over the last couple of days. I think the coordination and just the communication between the group has looked good. So yeah, I think we're in a good position going into the game, but that's really been the big key. Because look, it's all well and good saying, yes, we need to be cleaner in and around the box, but we can't do that at the expense of being sloppy defensively. It's got to be a complete performance. We've got to make sure that defensively we don't give Comoros chances. We need to make sure that offensively we create and we take our own.
So are we also expected to see any particular changes or adjustments that you're going to make in terms of your team strategy based on the previous match against Comoros compared to today?
Look, I think people have seen since I've joined the club or joined the federation, it's, my team's playing a certain way. We want to be front foot. We want to go and cause the opposition problems. We want to use our speed, both in terms of our physical speed, but as well as our mental speed, quick decision making. And so, yeah, there's always one or two minor sort of tweaks and adjustments you do in relation to certain opposition players. But overall, I think the Gambian fans, I think football in general, knows what to expect of a Jonathan McKinstry team. And we look to go out and do that again tonight. And, I think 85% of our performance to date over the last 6 months has been of a very high standard. And now it's about continuing that and taking it to another level and securing an important result this evening.
You made a very important point that will lead me to my next question. Your team is known for playing on the front foot, as you said, playing possession football, attacking football. Now, in the past, when the Gambian team attacks, they lost. We've lost in matches 4-0, 3-0, but you have never lost a game more than by 1 goal. And here we are playing against a counter-attacking team, which we've already neutralized in our first game, of course, creating a lot of numerous chances. But this time around, how do you plan to deal with this counter-attacking football of Comoros?
Well, look, I think the nature of football is that you can't cover everything in a game. If you want to reduce the space in front of you, pressing football, you have to give up space behind you. So if you want to be a front foot team and try and put teams under pressure in their build-up phase, you can't have your players spread out over 90 meters of the field. You have to try and compact the game. And so if you want to press, you've got to step higher. But that does open space in behind. And so does it leave you open sometimes to counter-attacking opportunities? Yes, it does. But equally, if you want to reduce the space in behind, it means you cannot press. You cannot fill the space in front. So you cannot have everything that you want in the game. You've got to pick, what you're going to go for. But equally, for us, even if you have stepped higher up the field, even if you have opened some space behind you, then the key is, can you prevent the pass? Can you have numbers around the ball so that when the opposition want to launch a counterattack, because a counterattack has to begin with a pass. It has to begin with a good quality pass. So if a team is able to prevent those passes, then counterattacks don't happen. So it's, again, and that's not just about one player, it's about all 11 players having good positional play, having good awareness around them, making sure they don't leave free men, free space. And look, the guys are doing well. They've done well over the last 6 months with it. And we're getting better and better by each camp as the confidence grows. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what performance they bring this evening.
The importance of this match, again, cannot be overemphasized. But then, what is the mindset of the players going into this match today?
I would say there's a real steely determination. I mentioned at the start of the week after the first training session that, there was a lightness in the group, a jovialness, a familialness, but at the same time, a seriousness. You see it in the players' eyes. You see it once the whistle goes, on the training pitch. There might be laughing and joking while they're getting ready. But the moment the whistle goes and we're playing, there's a seriousness and there's a firmness in their voices as they communicate with each other. And that's what you want. You want a close-knit, familial environment within the group who know that, right, once that whistle goes, it's time to get down to work. And that's what we've seen over the last sort of 3-4 days here in Morocco. And yeah, I expect that's what we're going to bring into the game tonight.
Well, that is good to know. You've talked about the mood, but then I mean, what's your own feeling going into this match, knowing that there are over 2 million Gambians who are, I mean, looking forward to a third straight Afcon appearance?
Yeah, for me, I'm confident. I know our boys are ready, but I also know Comoros will be ready. I think there's almost sometimes a lazy thought process that if you want it enough, if you work hard enough, you'll get it. But I think that that removes the idea that Comoros are also going to come and work extremely hard. They want it with passion. So I've said to our guys that your work ethic and bringing 100% to tonight's performance, that just gets you to compete. That's not alone going to win you the game, because we've got to expect that Comoros are going to bring 100% of what they have. So once you've done the work ethic, once you've brought that hard work to the table, now what's your quality? What's your intelligence? Can you use these things to help put us in a winning position? And then can we be disciplined in our performance to make sure that we maintain that winning position and we don't give up simple chances? So, there's sort of three strands to our performance tonight. We expect Comoros to come and give absolutely everything. Because again, you got to remember, Comoros know that if they win tonight, they qualify tonight. So that's the other side of the coin. They have everything to play for as well. So for anyone who thinks that we're just playing against a team who are coming to play a football match, no. They are coming to give absolutely everything because they know that that golden prize is waiting for them at full time. And so both teams come in with a lot to play for. But this is also why we get involved in football. Why we're professionals. I dislike the games where you're playing against a team who are not competitive, that you win 5, 6, 7-0. These games are not enjoyable. Yes, they're good for the highlights reels, but they're not really enjoyable to be part of. What you want is a game that is pure competition, that you have to bring your best, and you bring your best, and if you're able to win against a team who also bring their best, and it forces you to work for 95 minutes, that's why we get involved in this game as professionals. And tonight, I expect we've got to work hard for 95 minutes to bring our quality, to bring our intelligence. And I believe that should be enough to get us 3 points. And if it does, I think we'll be very pleased tonight.
3 of your players in Musa Barrow, James Gomez and Ablai Jallo, celebrated their birthdays yesterday. Did they make any birthday promise or birthday wish to you?
Again, we celebrated their birthday. We wished them well, but I think even for them themselves, it was a case of, okay, let's just put a cap on any celebratory mood just yet until after we get this job done. And that's, again, I talk about the mindset of this group of players. Mm-hmm. That's been the mindset since I walked in the door, is that, we're here to do a job. We're here to get results for ourselves, for our families, for the nation. And yeah, so I think we're looking for a birthday present from one or maybe all 3 of them tonight, hopefully. But yeah, then hopefully the celebrations of their birthday can start after Monday.
Coach, finally, what do you have to tell Gambians watching you now, who are very pleased with the way that your team is playing? And the fear that if we attack, we will be shipping in goals is already gone. Like I said, this team have never lost by more than the old goal. But then they're a little bit frustrated with the fact that the players do not take their chances with all the numerous chances that they've created over the past few matches.
Yeah. So I think my message for them is, continue supporting the team. Your support is felt, it's welcomed. Again, we all know that we are yearning for that moment that we're back playing in Bakau, where we can share these moments with the Gambian people. But for the millions back at home in the Gambia, for the diaspora all around the world who'll be tuning in and following the game in various ways tonight, keep supporting, keep that positivity going. The team are working hard for you. And yeah, look, we're not the finished article yet. I don't think you'll ever find me saying that we are perfect. We are chasing perfection, but we're not there yet. We've made some really good steps. We've made some really good progress in the last 6 months. Tonight, is a big step forward that we have the opportunity to take. And we're going to be doing everything we can on and off the field to make sure we give the Gambian supporters what they want tonight.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
No, thank you very much. It's been great.